Hi everybody, I'm Steve McDonald. I'm one of the editors at Investors Daily Edge. In focus today, an update on oil, wars over food. The reality of bonds is finally hitting home. The NASDAQ is showing new signs of life, and of course, the Slap in the Face Award. Well, oil has been running again on the new show of strength in the Chinese economy and the improving situation here at home. The stabilization of the EU hasn't hurt either. Now, it's currently around 77 to 78 as I'm taping this. Now, as predicted here at IDE, the economy is showing slow but steady progress, and worldwide economies are doing even better and no double dip. As demand begins to return to normal for oil, the Saudis indicate one day they will not increase production, and the next they say they will. The only consistent response we get from them is that they intend to regain the market share they lost in the past few years. All of these are bullish indicators of where oil is going, especially the uncertainty of the Saudis' position on production. $85 a barrel is just a bad news story away. Now, I am firm on my call of $85 to $90 oil by the end of this year. The possibility of food wars. For the past year, I've been writing about the coming food shortage in the world. Now, in two separate sound profit recommendations this year and last, I listed all of the reasons that even with the best of conditions, food would get very expensive and farmers would face huge challenges trying to feed the world. At the time, I recommended potash. In fact, we've owned it 4 times. We've taken profits 3 of those times, and we still own it with an average cost of about $92. And the other was Monsanto. Now, that's a play that would follow the shortage. Both would follow the shortage as it grows. You have to start thinking seeds and fertilizer. That's where food's going to come from. Now, they're up 50% and 20% respectively. Now, the recent Russian grain shortage, which really got the ball rolling this year, looks to be repeating itself. The planting numbers for their current winter wheat crop are way down, and there is no rain in sight in the forecast. Now, even if this situation improves and the wheat harvest next spring is better than expected, this is a growing, long-term, worldwide problem that doesn't have any easy answers. The result will be even greater food shortages in the future and unavoidable increases in food and especially grain prices. The play remains the same to capitalize on this. Fertilizer, seeds, and take a look at the grain ETFs. Just search grain ETF, look for exposure to wheat and corn. Each one of these is a little different in what they focus on. Now, if you think we had problems in the world for the past 40 years because of oil, wait until people start getting really hungry. It's going to be a big problem. The reality of bonds. Finally, thank you. Other analysts are looking at and talking about the coming debacle in long-term bonds. In just the past 2 weeks, we've seen about a 5% drop in the value of the 10-year bond, and this is just the beginning. Bond funds will be the hardest hit in this, though. But none of this should be new to you if you've been following my videos. I've been talking about this for 9 months. Now, you can be in bonds long-term for their safety and stability, but they have to be short-term maturities, and that will minimize the hit you take as treasuries sell off. Right now, in our open positions in the bond trader, we're averaged 9 to 10% just in our open positions. That's if we hold them to maturity, and that's with a 98% success ratio and an average maturity, and this is so important, an average maturity of 3 years. You really need to look at this. Our closed trades, those are the ones we bought and sold already, are averaging 22% this year. You can be in bonds, but you got to be in the right ones. The NASDAQ, the sweetheart of the late 90s, the Triple Q and the NASDAQ are showing a lot of life lately. The percentage gains on the NASDAQ have been quietly creeping up as the takeover frenzy continues in the techs. The NASDAQ is essentially a tech index. Most of its holding are tech stocks. As the M&A activity grows in this sector, you may want to start paying attention to the quadruple Q. It used to be the Triple Q way back when, but it's just 4 Qs as the symbol. Now, the Slap in the Face Award this week goes to 2 of the better-known Marxists out there, Castro, or Castro's brother, and Obama. Castro told 500,000 public employees this week, by the way, 85% of the jobs in Cuba are public service jobs. Anyway, he told them to get out, find jobs in the private sector. What? Do you know what he means by the private sector? He told them to drive taxis, raise rabbits, and sell candy and dried fruits. That's 500,000 people doing that. Well, this is following a comment by him that there is no need to export Cuba's brand of socialism because it doesn't work. On our own shores, Obama was accused by the left and the progressives of being his party's lapdog of business. Why? If so, he's the only lapdog I know who's eating his way through the lap he's sitting on. Between the problems the EU has as a result of their socialist leanings and their giveaway mentality, the collapse or conversion of most of the communist world, the total failure of the Cuban experiment, and Obama finally realizing his capitalist DNA, maybe there is a better than average chance we could finally see the death of socialism. Its record certainly has earned its eternal rest. For everybody here, I'm Steve McDonald. Thank you for being a part of this. The email address where you can get in touch with me is on the screen. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you Friday in the Weekend Wrap-Up.